years just kind of blend together. 92, like 95-ish.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah. So
I think they've been here forever.
So 1995-ish, you moved out here. And you were working at that time where?
It was called Camry. Excuse me. It's CAMARY. Statewide Services.
And what'd you do again? I'm sorry.
I was like receptionist. I don't know, secretary, I guess you would call me. I wasn't really executive anything. It was more like the executive secretary, I guess you would call me. Yeah. I don't know what my official position was, because I don't think anyone really gives titles anymore.
And are they still around?
No, they merged and they were bought out by Living Resources.
That's like home health aid stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like disability type.
Okay. And where was that in Albany?
It was down... It was near Washington. There's a church on Western Ave. There's
firehouse right there too.
I don't think there's a firehouse, but like Washington Park was down. There's what was on the corner? There's like a little restaurant on the corner. What was the church called? It was like 99 something Western Avenue. I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant that was on the corner. It was past, like I would come out North Main and go down left, and there's like, it was almost like we were on the second floor.
Okay.
And there's, what's the church? There's a church right there.
How far down to Washington Park when you were living on North Main and Western? How long of a walk was it?
I have to drive, I believe.
You have to drive.
Yeah.
Do you know where Western and Washington meet down north?
Kind of, yeah.
So was it before that, or was it near where they meet?
Before that, I believe.
Before that. So do you know where the SUNY campus is now down there?
No. I never go down there.
I'm trying to think what else is down there.
Because we had, in the church across the street too, there were offices upstairs.
Okay. I mean,
there's like a big parking lot.
Is it before Washington Park on Western?
Yes.
Because you know how big that is,
yeah,
right?
So it's this side, it was like this side of Washington Park.
So above it, closer to Main?
Yeah.
And a church, I'm trying to...
Do you remember where the school was? Down near like Lake before the park? If you were coming down Western Avenue.
I think it was this side of that too, yeah.
It was further up from that?
That's got to be like... Was the lamppost around then? Right at Quail and Western?
Yeah. What was... I can't think. We go to... Can't think of the name of the place. Because it was like right on the corner. Like, there was a building... It was like a 2-story. I'm trying to think of I don't know the address.
Okay. All right. I mean,
sounds like it's more uptown than downtown, kind of near the park.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Back to this. I can get lost in the history of
Albany. That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't. And I'm not from I'm a kind of a transplant. I'm Guilderland, so I get down in Albany and I'm like.
Lost.
Yeah. No, it's confusing. When you first move here, it's confusing because it's so much.
Even now, like to go down there, I have to put my GPS on my phone because I have no clue where I'm going. But you understand.
You're much like
a girl.
I mean, to me, Roxbury, where I'm from, Roxbury's like the big city. You know?
No.
I'm kidding. It's a little bit more. You guys had a gas station. Ashland, we didn't even have a gas station.
No, I think there is one. I think there's one, or there used to be, but I don't know. It was like in the middle of town.
Yep.
And there was a ski area. That's pretty much all there.
Yeah. Was that Belmont?
Platica.
I'm thinking of the one in Grand Gorge.
There's not one in Grand Gorge.
There is off Grand Gorge, yeah. If you bang that left, so when you come into Grand Gorge,
oh, in Stanford area or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. So, Mary and Dennis. Has anyone, no one in the family's talked about losing someone that never got accounted for? Younger, though. Like, young.
No, I mean, my Aunt Connie didn't have kids. My Aunt Bonnie has 2 boys. My Uncle George had 3 kids. Aunt Jean has 1, and Aunt Nancy has 1, and Aunt Jean has 2. No, they're all accounted for that I know of. My grandmother did foster kids.
Foster wouldn't matter. It's bloodline stuff, you know. What about your actually? Let me ask you this, Wendy.
Yeah.
Does Wendy have kids?
She has a son.
Okay, Wendy's son. How old is he?
20.
And what's his name?
Brett. Brett.
And last name?
Morrison. Morrison.
Okay.
And then she had, no, it was a stepson. Because she had another, but it was a stepson.
No, this is like straight bloodline related. Okay. Let me ask you this. Back 96, 97, 1997, right? Anyone, any of them end up being pregnant?
My sister, no. Jessica, no. She's lesbian.
Okay. Well, she's definitely not going to have a baby.
She's not going to have a baby. Ames and David are in Vermont. Ames has no kids. Dave has 3. George thought he was gay, but he has a child. And then Michelle has, I think Michelle has 2 and like 3 or 4 grandkids or something. She's younger than I am. And then Heather has a son.
Okay.
So I think that's.
But at that time, was anybody pregnant and then like no one ever saw the kid or anything?
No.
No?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Not that you're aware of.
Again, I mean, I'm not close to my cousins, but
To the best of your knowledge, do you know if any of your cousins were ever down in the Albany area back in the 90s?
Possibly to go to like cross gates and shopping and stuff like that.
But
not living. No, not that I'm aware of, no.
And when you lived on Main, how'd that go? Because I remember was that your first apartment?
It was.
Okay. Did you have a roommate or
No, but it was I didn't have roommates, but it was like a building and there were 5 apartments in there.
Okay.
So there were people all, upstairs.
That's an adjustment though, because how old were you?
When did I say I came in? 95-ish?
Yeah, somewhere in
Or
there.
72, 82, 92, 23?
23? That's a big move. I mean, an hour away all on your own, an apartment and a job.
I had a bunch of friends here.
Oh, did you?
That had moved from Roxbury and, we're.
Okay. So you at least.
Then work and, I was very big into we joined a volleyball team at work and, just very kept active, stuff to do.
Okay. The friends would have all been out of school at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were they all just working?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Just.
That phase of life, the first job.
You got pretty much either you stay in Roxbury or you can, leave.
What'd you go to school for? Just curious.
Secretarial.
Okay. Well, appropriate.
Okay. How many friends came down from Roxbury, or how many were down here?
There's probably at that time there were probably 3 or 4, 5. Didn't hang out with them often, but.
Actually, I didn't even ask you. So you said you have 2 kids, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other kids?
No.
No? Okay.
Nope.
I know it's kind of a personal question, but it's one of the things I gotta ask. How many times have you been pregnant?
2.
2?
Yes.
Okay.
Very easy, very.
Easy pregnancies?
Mm-hmm.
No issues?
No.
What about after? Because my wife, she had the postpartum. Did you ever get that?
No.
Really? Good for you.
No.
It was a tough time in the lawyer household.
Was it really?
Oh my God.
No, I had a good support system.
Okay.
And they were good.
Okay. Very cool.
And I think I babysat for so many people in Roxbury. I was the town babysitter.
Okay.
That I think, when I had my kids, it was easy for me because I'm used to crying, screaming children.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to get used to, trust me.
You're the father of your 2 children, Josh and Hannah.
Yes.
You guys still together? Or?
No, we're divorced.
Divorced? Did you meet him in Roxbury or down here?
No, here.
Here?
We work together. Yeah.
At Tri-City?
No, at Camry.
The Living Resources?
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So when did you meet him? How long after you came here?
Well, I met him immediately because we worked together.
Yep.
But then we started dating probably 2 years later. He was actually engaged.
Oh, he was
and then
engaged.
He was engaged, and then they broke up, and then, yeah.
Okay. And when did you guys separate? I'm just curious.
2016.
2016. So you
Don't get me started on that one.
No. All right. So you meet him. You guys are together for that time. Okay. So part of this is we're going around. We're trying to collect DNA samples from people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, to try and match to the remains and that we're doing. Is that something you'd be able to help us out
Yeah,
with?
that's
Give
fine.
us a sample of DNA. Okay. Yeah, we can do that here in a moment.
So the remains were found where? Can you tell me that?
Yeah. So, are you familiar with this area at all?
Within Washington Park? I've seen it during Tulip Festival.
Okay. Have you ever been here?
Just the only time I ever gone to Washington Park was Tulip Festival.
Tulip Fest. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So where these flower beds are over here, right by this road, this is where the remains are found. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, these.
Ooh, I'm sorry, I got goosebumps.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, it is. It's every. I'm sure whoever whatever happened, there's an explanation because generally there's an explanation to everything that happens because it happened, right? It's just a matter of figuring it out, and I think eventually we'll do that, but part of that is talking to people and figuring it out. We can do so much investigatively, like following DNA trails and stuff, and it is super cool, like the way this stuff works. Like, I swear to you, soon, we're not there yet. But
so how does that work with DNA? Can you pinpoint?
Yeah.
I don't watch any of those stupid.
No.
Sorry, I don't mean
no.
shows.
You're insulting my career.
No, they freak me out.
Yeah.
So DNA is pretty cool because, in a sense, everyone's fingerprint is different, right? It's distinct. DNA is like your genetic fingerprint. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And whenever people are created, you get some DNA from mom, some DNA from dad. So as the years progress and the trees branch out, there's parts of those pieces of DNA that go with every person. Just gets a little mixed up, and that's where your traits come from.
I mean, the thing about this, and it's law enforcement's not a special thing. It's like someone figures out a cool thing to do to solve crimes,
right?
Or figure stuff out, because not everything's a crime, but to figure stuff out, and then everyone gets on it. Like Golden State Killer, he was a serial killer, a rapist, running around California for years, like numerous victims. And then they implored this technology that we're kind of using now, and they were able to link him to all these crimes from like 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
game
crazy.
changer. It's actually a huge help, Like, it generally does help us do what we got to do. So the way it works is, we go around, we obtain DNA samples from a bunch of different people, and then we end up zeroing in and figure out who mom and dad are.
Because it's that same kind of thing where everyone's DNA starts spreading out the branches of the trees.
Right.
But the more samples that we can find and we can keep comparing them, it keeps bringing us in because we find the traits that are similar between the people.
That's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
It's cool, and it's like I said, this is a baby, if you couldn't tell.
I'm gonna throw up. That's gross.
I know. I mean, here's the thing though, is we're just trying to figure out what happened to it. The remains, they are what they are. We're honestly trying to just fill in the blanks here. This is a historic event that happened. It is what it is. No one's changing that now. We're just trying to get some answers and figure out exactly what occurred. Whoever the mother and father are, have their reasons for whatever they did. I'm not saying it's right.
Right.
You never know what kind of headspace someone's in. Like, you could look at me and I could appear put together, but I'm a mess in my personal life,
And who knows what's going on in their lives at the time.
Yeah.
Right. No.
As far as turmoil, what's happening.
And the other interesting part about this is it's so long ago. It's 27 years ago. Like, no one's the same person they were 27 years ago. No one's the same person they were 27 days ago.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to sort out. But all we can do is ask the questions. And like I said, I appreciate you. So that's the family.
Yeah, I don't think.
At no point you don't remember your sister being pregnant in 1997, and you were never pregnant in 1997. Nope. Never miscarried. Never had a pregnancy before. Who's the older, Hannah or Josh?
Yeah, no, Hannah.
Okay. Never had a child or were pregnant before Hannah.
No.
Okay.
And to no one that you know of as far as cousin-wise that was pregnant or that was involved in me or nothing that you can think of, because I know you said that you weren't really close with them.
No, I mean, no, my two are in Vermont. Jess, not having a child. No.
Okay. All right, fair enough. And I appreciate you helping us out with the DNA. That's actually a big help. The other part of it is this. I'm not saying I don't believe you by any means, right? But one of the other things we kind of, so the best way to describe it is we're mixing old school and new school, right? We're doing this new school DNA stuff, but we're also doing the old school in the sense of if people are willing to do it, we're trying to bring it back. Would you be willing to take a polygraph examination for us?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. We're trying to mix those in too. So, yeah, let's go get
the
forensics guy will
DNA
come
guy.
in to do the DNA. It's just a swab, so it's much like a Q-tip. And all you're going to do, he's going to have you go over a consent form, just saying, yeah, I consent to give my DNA to the Albany Police Department. And then you'll take it and just rub it on the inside of your cheek.
Okay.
Is that crazy? It's just like the ones that they send home, like when people do DNA stuff that they send into all these different websites.
Yeah.
It's like the same exact thing. Perfect. So we'll be right back with
Give
that.
me one moment. You sure you don't need coffee or water?
No, I'm fine. What time is it?
It is 8:12.
Okay.
So you're good.
Can I have my phone back just so I can text and tell him I'm not going to be in time? I
Yeah.
started at 8:30.
Yeah, let me grab it and we'll get it in here with the DNA.
Yeah, and then I'll give it back to you or whatever.
Perfect. Appreciate it. Hang tight 1 sec.
I was doing the math. I moved here in '97
You moved here in
because
'97.
I worked for an insurance company in Roxbury for 5 years. I graduated in '92.
In '97, which insurance company?
In Roxbury, Mid-Rox.
Dad worked at Mid-Rox.
Who?
Bob Lawyer.
I think it was after me? With Carol Wilson and Fred Morse?
He would have been there probably in '85 to '87.
So before
yeah,
me.
Way before you. No kidding. Small world, isn't it?
Right?
So this is Detective Zucchelli. He's in
Good
our
evening.
forensic investigation unit.
Good morning. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to text work to let them know I'm going to be late. Sorry about that.
No, all good. Here, let me see that. Actually, they get buggy about for
Yep,
some
nope,
reason.
that's fine.
I don't. This place is like.
No, I got it.
There's just a consent form that you're giving me the DNA voluntarily. If you want to read that and sign it for me, I appreciate it. Just used in this case only. It's not put into a database or anything used against in any other cases. Keri Mazzuca.
Yes.
I'm just going to brush up the inside of your cheek. This doesn't have anything like that.
I like when they scrub you for the strep test, but not this is not in your
Way
throat.
easier than that. Still come out for me. That's it. People get nervous. They think it's going to be like the COVID thing.
Oh,
No, it's just,
gross.
yeah, just terrible and unpleasant, so. Detective Laura will be right back in with you, all right?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
that should not take all that long. They're pretty quick about the DNA. Alright, fair enough. I'm sorry, what's Hannah and Josh? Don't say that.
See, now it's stuck. Now it's stuck.
And Joshua?
What's her dad's name?
Jason Mazzuca.
You said you moved here, it's actually 97 you moved here?
I believe, yes, because I graduated high school in 90, graduated college in 92, worked for the insurance company for 5 years. 3, 4, 5, 6, 90, yes.
Okay.
And I moved in August? June?
June or July?
August.
Okay.
I'd have to, like I said, I'm so terrible with like dates, times, years.
No,
I'd have
that's
to go
all
back
good.
a year, but yeah.
And that was the first apartment you've ever had?
Yes.
Okay. And when you went to Delhi, were you living at home?
No, I was living in the dorms.
You're living in the dorms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when you were working at
Camry?
No, not Camry. The
Insurance company?
insurance
I was
company.
living with my parents.
You're living with your parents, and they were in Roxbury.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And when you started working at the place here in Albany, the
Camry?
Camry.
Yeah, you're never gonna get that one.
I swear to God, I'll get it by the end of this. When you were working at Camry, what was your schedule like there?
8 to 4, 9 to 5.
8 to 4.
Like a regular
Yeah,
work day.
right, and then Fridays in the summer we got out at like 1.
Okay. Okay. So you moved here in, you believe, July or August?
9.
June, July, August, somewhere in the summer.
Yeah.
Do you remember what
summer-
season?
Yeah.
Summer.
Summerish, spring, summer.
Summer of '97. And
I'm not trying to be difficult here. I'm
No,
just
no,
like,
it's
I'm not-
it's
27
20-something
years
years
ago.
ago. Yeah.
it's 27 years ago. If you don't know, you don't know. That's the truth, right?
Right.
So how long after you got to Albany and started working there did you link up with Jason?
So we started working together probably year and a half after.
A year and a half
Because,
after.
like I said, he was engaged. You know, we were just friends, and then his engagement broke off, and then
Okay.
Was he working at Camry when you started?
he was.
He
Yes.
was?
Yeah.
Okay. And
We were in the same office
Okay.
prior to him, any boyfriends, anything like that?
in college.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I did. Excuse me. Can I get a water at some point?
Yeah, I'll go
No,
get it.
that's fine. I did have. Do you want me to wait for him to come
No,
back?
no, go ahead.
I did have 2 boyfriends in college.
Okay.
And then when I came up here, I was, not really dating. We joined, our company had a volleyball team and we would hang out and stuff, but I never really dated anyone up here until I met Jason.
Okay.
And then we started dating.
Okay. Fair enough. I gotta add, so part of the
Mhm.
thing is, we're asking people as we're going through. So this is a very newborn baby that gets found.
Mhm.
And we're trying to hash that out as to exactly what happened to it. And we're just getting people's perspective.
Right.
Like, I mean, these remains, they get found in Washington Park. I mean, in your mind, what would cause someone to leave a baby in a place? Anything you could think of?
No. Because they have all those, hospitals, safe places.
Yeah, like a safe haven for the kids.
Sorry. I got
Yeah,
goosebumps.
I mean, that's what we're trying to wrap our head around.
No idea. That's,
I mean, so there's some aggravating factors with this as well.
I think especially, how,
Right. I mean, that's what we're trying to wrap our heads around and get from people. I mean, this happened, and I think within short order we're going to be able to figure out definitely who mom is,
Mhm.
and then we'll work through who dad is, and we got to collect all these DNA samples and go from there. But, the thing about this is, so I'm sorry I gotta show you this, but I do, because it is important, okay? Baby was actually set on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not only was it abandoned, but.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure out exactly what happened to this baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because here's the thing, right? Is it could be a couple different things here. We know the baby was alive. We know it breathed, had lung flowing through its airs, was healthy, was crying. And then this happened.
Ugh.
So we're trying to figure out, who did it, obviously, right?
Right.
Because in your mind, I mean, you see that. What's that scream to you?
It's crazy.
But I mean, as I said, everything's explainable.
Right.
But it's not me. I don't know. Especially when we can prove it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the spot you want to be, or someone wants to be. I should say.
Right.
Right. Like if someone is truly related, or the mother or father of this child, the best thing they could do when we talk to them, and this is just me thinking out loud, is the best thing they could do when we talk to them is be truthful, right? Like, yeah, all right, yeah, this is what happened, but I didn't do that, or so-and-so did that, but people that lie, that ain't gonna go their way, right? Because everything gets figured out. As I was telling you, like that Golden State guy,
right,
or all this stuff. Look at that, the Giglio Beach guy that killed all those girls.
Right.
They figure it out, because what they do is we end up, we go, we get DNA, we make comparisons, and God helps someone if they lie. Because all you have is your credibility, right? Because 27 years ago, baby Moses gets found here, right? And say you are mom, right? I'm not saying you are, but say you are, right? And we bring you down here, and you say, no, I'm not the mother. I was never pregnant then. What if that's not true? Like, we can figure all that stuff out, right? And then what happens is we go, hey, guess what? We found this baby dead and burned, and the mother said she's not the mother. What's that scream to you? If you're like,
I did it. I did it.
You did it?
I did it.
What happened?
I got pregnant. I had the baby. I gave birth in my bathtub. Baby died. Didn't know how to get rid of it.
How'd the baby die?
I think I had water in the bathtub. I think it drowned.
You drowned it?
I didn't drown it.
In that bathtub?
Yes.
Inside that apartment? Right there?
Yes.
Why'd you burn the baby?
I didn't burn the baby.
Who did?
I don't know who did.
Who'd you give the baby to?
I had the baby by myself. I went down to the park. I handed it to somebody.
Who'd you hand it to?
I don't know. Some random person.
Keri, that doesn't make sense.
I swear to God.
You did not hand this baby to a random person. That didn't happen.
I didn't know what to do. I set the baby on fire.
Was it screaming?
No, it was dead. It was dead.
So, what'd you put the baby in?
A towel.
A towel? Because the doctor who did the autopsy says your version's bullshit.
I could have done it.
No, what I'm saying is this baby was breathing for minutes. This baby was alive.
I had it in the... I did.
That doesn't lie. This is 27 years ago. Let's clean this up. Let's be done with this here and now. That baby died, not of natural causes.
I didn't kill the baby that I'm aware of. I had it in the bathtub.
and it didn't drown, there's no water in the lungs, that didn't happen. It's not of natural causes, there's no trauma, so that leaves one thing. And you know what that one thing is?
Suffocation?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I get it. You're all alone in 1997. You probably moved here because you were pregnant and you were trying to hide it.
I did not. I moved here for a job.
Moved here for a job?
I didn't know I was pregnant until after I moved here.
Okay. Fair enough. And that, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. That is probably the truth.
That is the truth.
But we know definitively that this child breathed. We know it was taking breath in its little lungs. All right? If you freaked out and did this, that's fine. We need to know.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I suffocated the child.
With what?
I put it in a bag.
Put it in a bag? Did you cover his mouth, his nose?
I don't remember. I don't remember that part. I may have. I don't know that I put it in a bag, though.
Okay, let's talk about this. Did you hear the baby cry and screaming?
I did not.
You didn't hear the baby cry?
No, I swear. That I remember. I do not remember hearing the baby crying.
And you put him in a bag. And we know he's alive. We definitely know that from the doctor. You know?
Because an autopsy was completed on the baby. And that's how we know the baby didn't drown.
Right.
So that's what we need to figure out. And we honestly want to know because there's, the one thing I've consistently said about this whole thing is I have more questions than I have answers. And I hate being in that spot,
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to figure that out, and we need to flush that out so we can all move forward. This is a long, long time ago. You know what I mean? So you have the baby in the tub. It doesn't drown.
No.
Okay.
I did put it in the tub. I don't remember covering its mouth and nose. Did I? Maybe. I do remember putting it in a bag. I don't remember hearing it cry.
What kind of bag?
I think like a Walmart type.
Like a plastic bag?
A plastic bag.
Okay. And then, how'd you get down to Washington Park?
Drove.
You drove. And you're by yourself?
Yeah. 1,000%.
What kind of car did you have back then?
I had a Honda Civic.
What color was it?
Green and blue?
Green and blue?
I think it was like the greenish, bluish color.
Gotcha.
So you
I think that was the car that I had at that point.
So you put the baby in a bag. Did you have a name picked out?
No.
When did you figure out you were pregnant? I'm just curious.
I moved to Albany, and then it was probably like a month later. I didn't, I was living at home with my parents, and
Yeah.
Did you ever go see a doctor about being pregnant?
No.
So nobody knew?
No.
It was just, you found out and kind of kept it to yourself?
Like I said, I gave birth in the bathtub.
Yeah. And then you go to Washington Park. At any point, did you see when you were on your way down there, did you see any police stations? Did you see any hospitals? Did you see any?
No, no.
Right.
You just
want to get rid of the baby. How'd you figure out to set it on fire?
I don't know. I don't.
Do you remember if you used matches or a lighter?
I think matches. I don't think I had a lighter.
Matches.
I think. Why? I don't.
So I got to ask you the natural thing because based on the way the baby's found, did you hear cries as the baby was burning?
No, I think the baby was dead at that point.
At what point, before or after you leave your house, did the baby die?
I think before.
Before? Like how long after? Because, I've had kids. I've been in the delivery room when my wife's had kids. I want you to think back to Hannah and Josh. And were those natural births or were those C-sections?
No, those are natural.
Natural. So I want you to think back to that. Like, you remember how if you had Hannah or Josh, how you hear that first cry?
Right. Yes. No. Yes. I do. I was older.
Yeah.
I was
I mean, here's the thing. You're a kid. You were 4, 5 when this happened?
About 97?
Yeah.
I was born in 72.
Yeah.
82, 92, 2002. When was it, 97?
Yeah. So,
25.
I mean, yeah, you're a kid at that point. Well, I say that now, as I'm older, but, you know, when you heard that with Hannah, when you heard that with Josh, I want you to think back with this, because it's not, I didn't hear it. You'd remember it. I mean,
I don't remember. I don't remember the crying. I don't remember it. No.
Do you remember the baby looking at you?
No. No, I think I was just so, like I said, gave birth in the bathtub, was dealing with myself. I don't think I really, I don't have, I don't remember it crying. I don't remember.
Did you remember moving?
No, I mean, it was, I think I was just trying to take care of myself, you know.
Yeah. How did you sever the umbilical cord?
Scissors.
Scissors. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. We know from what the doctor told us, right, that this baby was taking breaths, was alive, right? So what we need to sort out now, between us three in this room, so we can all be done with it and move on, is how exactly this baby died, right? I mean, here's the thing.
I must have suffocated it. I mean,
it's not.
That's all I can. My recollection, like I blocked it.
Let's do this. I want you to take a deep breath, and we're going to go in a time warp to 1997, September 1997. Was it night or early morning when you had the baby?
I think it was evening.
Evening. So 27 years ago today, actually, September 6th of 1997, that means that baby was born. That's what I mean. It's been a long time. Let's sort this out, the three of us, and get past it together. And then we're done with it. But people need answers. Yourself included, too.
Right.
This is solid self-reflection on what occurred. And you're not that person anymore, I can tell.
No.
I can tell you're not that person anymore. You grew up. You had 2 kids. You lived the American dream. You have a nice little piece of land on Ostrander Road. Nice little yellow house. You got a nice car. You have a good thing here. Okay? So let's be this the last time we go through this. Let's be honest. We'll do it together. And then we'll all move on together. So, 27 years ago, on today's date, in the evening hours.
I believe it was evening.
Yep. You believe it was evening. How long were you in labor?
I don't know because it was my first child. I was young. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know that I was having pains and I got in the bathtub to kind of like, because I read online, you know, whatever.
Yeah. But you knew you were pregnant, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Were you showing?
I don't believe really, no. Nobody ever questioned me.
Really? Some people carry it, some people...
Even with my other 2, though, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but...
Okay. And how long do you think you were in the bathtub?
45 minutes, an hour, maybe?
And prior to this, had you gone and seen a doctor, an OB, anything?
No.
No? Okay. So you carry this baby.
The only reason I knew I was pregnant is because I didn't get my period.
Right. When did you notice you didn't get your period?
I think when I moved up here. Like, you know, I was living with my parents. Like, I was young. I was stupid. I didn't really pay attention.
Yeah.
But I've always been off and had issues and stuff, so it was not anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah. No, that happens. Sometimes it goes a little longer.
Yeah,
it's not a science,
right.
You know? Okay. So then you start getting cramps, and you've done some research on your own online. Told you to get in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
So you get in the bathtub, and then what happens?
I just kind of sat there, and then I just felt like pressure.
Okay.
And then I just felt the baby coming out, and
Yeah. Because here's the thing of this, is, do you remember cleaning the baby off at all?
I don't remember cleaning the baby off.
Because babies that just come out, I mean, you've seen,
Yeah.
they don't look like that. So this baby was cared for somewhat.
I think I blocked it out. I don't remember cleaning the baby off. I don't.
Right. Well, we need to unblock it so we can figure this out.
I mean, I gave birth in the bathtub. I mean, I may have like the towels because I was in the water anyway.
Yeah.
But then I remember putting the baby outside the tub because I was cutting trying to figure out the umbilical cord.
Was that slippery with them moving around and stuff? Like, did you have to get a good grip?
I'm assuming I would have to have, yeah.
Because they're little arms, you know what I mean? And
I don't even know if it was a boy or a girl.
It was a boy. It was a boy. First son was a boy. And then you clean yourself up. Do you have to carry the baby out to get the scissors?
No, I had the scissors with me.
So you knew this was going to happen, you wanted to be prepared. Okay. And then you cut the umbilical cord. Were you still in the tub when you cut it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I stayed in the tub because I didn't know like what was going to happen
Right.
with the umbilical cord.
I got you. All right. Well, now we got to talk about the part where the baby stops breathing. And we got to do an honest account of that with each other. Not I think, because this is something you don't forget. You probably haven't thought about it in a long time, but it's definitely something you don't forget.
I put my hands over its mouth and nose.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And then you press down?
Yeah. I think.
No, not I think. It's either did or didn't. And I'm not pressuring you to say something, but I need a definitive answer here.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I pressed down.
Did the baby stop crying when you did that?
Again, I don't remember the baby crying, but it must have. I don't remember the baby crying.
I want you to think back to 1997 when you had your hand over that mouth and nose. Did you feel those little breaths hitting your hand?
Yes.
How long until it stopped?
Minutes? I don't know.
You held your hand on the baby for 10 minutes.
I don't. Timing, I don't know.
Why?
Why did I do it?
Yeah.
I think I just had no clue what I think I was just in shock.
You're in shock. Had you met Jason yet at that point?
We were working together.
Did you like him at that point?
No, he was engaged. He was, we were just co-workers.
So this is something you were young and you were scared?
Yeah, he doesn't even know about this.
Doesn't know.
No.
Have you ever told anyone?
No.
Never
Nobody.
told anyone?
No.
Never told anybody?
No.
Not mom, dad,
Nobody.
sister, nobody?
Nobody.
Just kept it inside the whole time?
Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask you this, because it's been a long time. After 27 years, how have you never told to anyone?
I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I blocked it out of my memory. I didn't even know today was the date. Like, I just, wiped it.
What's it feel like to kill someone?
Terrible. Terrible.
Like, walk me through your emotions. I always ask everyone that's killed someone, and you're not the first person.
Shame, embarrassment, hatred of myself.
When did that kick in?
Immediately.
After you did it?
Mm-hmm.
So after you pressed on that baby's face, and you recall pushing on his face?
I do now, yes.
And you felt those little
Breaths
breaths hitting your hand, and then you felt them stop. How long after that did you take this baby down to Washington Park?
An hour or two.
An hour or two. And that's a towel, you said?
I believe it was a towel. A blanket, a towel.
And you
I
put...
don't- Was it a towel?
I don't know, it's like a pillowcase, to be perfectly honest. Could be a towel. I don't know. Pillowcase, towel, some sort of cloth object. Did you wrap it in that?
Yes.
But the baby was definitely dead before you set it on fire, right?
Yes. 1,000% it was dead before I left the apartment.
You killed it.
I believe it was dead before I left the apartment. I can't say 100% sure because I didn't, feel pulse or anything. I didn't.
If you had, let me ask you this, if you had not done what you did, would that baby still be alive today?
Yes. Yes.
Anything we didn't ask you that you think's important?
No.
Do you remember what day of the week it was this happened?
I have no idea.
Not sure.
No.
Did you go to work after?
It might have been a weekend. No, I didn't go to work after. So no, it was evening.
Evening.
So I wouldn't have gone to work.
Why Washington Park?
That's a good question. I think I just was new to the area and didn't know, and just
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
this
figured
is,
it was such a crazy location that anybody.
Do you remember seeing all the stuff on the news about it?
I do not. I
No.
blocked. I didn't watch the
Didn't
news
watch.
after. No.
a lot of people actually showed up to that funeral. A lot of people. Thank you. A lot of people, for a lot of years,
We're wondering.
wanted to know. Not even for someone to be in trouble. No, people don't care. People want to
I
know.
blocked it out. I just, I just, even today, I just like it.
If you could say anything to that baby right now, what would it be?
I love you and I'm sorry.
If he asked you, why'd you do this to me?
I was young, stupid, and
It's if I could show you the panorama one, went all the way around.
Did you ever go back to the park? No, never.
no. I mean, I've gone for like the Tulip Fest or something like that, but no,
Events, but not.
no.
Did you ever go, when you went for Tool Fest, did you ever go to this area?
I mean, just walking around with friends or whatever, but I just, like I said, I blocked it out.
Yeah. But after reopening that today here with us, I want to make sure that I have this correct. And I'm not misstating anything. And this is your account as you recall it. You moved here in the summer of 1997. You began working at Camry.
Yes.
Told you I'd remember it. Okay. You start working at Camry. You meet Jason at that time. You guys don't become romantically involved until about a year and a half later.
Yeah.
You knew you were pregnant. You didn't go seek care for it. You didn't really show that much. You did research online. So in the evening hours, we know of September, right, from what we're talking about. But as you recall it, the evening hours, you started feeling cramping, and you believed that was you about to give birth.
Mm-hmm.
You got a pair of scissors. You went into the bathtub where you ran warm water, I would assume?
Yeah.
Where you ran warm water. And then you delivered the baby. You pulled the baby out. You cut the umbilical cord. Cut it with your right hand or your left hand?
I'm right-handed, right hand.
Right-handed, okay. You recall baby moving around. You don't recall if it was crying, but you know it was alive because it was moving. You put the baby down. You cut the umbilical cord. You take care of yourself. And then you placed your hand over the baby's nose and mouth and applied pressure until the baby stopped moving. Did you know you were going to kill it when you were doing that?
Yes. I think yes.
So you knew what you were doing, but you did it, correct?
Right. I knew what I was doing. I was young. I was stupid. I didn't,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you intentionally kill this baby. Then, after about an hour, you go to Washington Park and set the baby on fire. And if that baby were alive today, you would say, I love you and I'm sorry.
Now that I'm older, wiser, have kids, and Yeah.
Yeah. You're not.
You're young, stupid, and
It's a long time ago,
a
Keri.
long time ago.
Keri, do you know who the father is?
He lived.
I have no idea.
How'd you link up with him?
We were in Roxbury together.
In Roxbury?
He's old, much older than well, not much older, but he's older than I am. And
Like how much older?
5 years. I think he's married now. I don't know if he has kids.
And that was a consensual thing you guys had done together? That wasn't.
It was consensual, yes. He has no idea. He didn't even know I was pregnant.
Okay. But I'm saying you weren't raped or anything
No.
like that.
No.
So you were just young and freaked out and killed
Young,
this kid.
stupid. Yep.
Who you believe the father was?
Yes.
And he's from Roxbury.
Yes.
Do you ever remember any romantic involvement with anyone with the? Were you like dating at the time?
We were.
So it was kind of okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you're pretty confident.
I know. I 100% know it was him. He was the only one I was sexually active with
At that time.
Gotcha.
I don't know any Slater.
No. Again, with the DNA thing, like, and you try to figure out stuff and the ways that it points. Yes.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I think that's a lot. I think we just talked about a whole lot. I gotta ask you this: are you presently thinking about harming yourself?
No.
Okay.
No.
You give me your word.
Yes.
Okay.
Swear. Yep. No,
I don't care what anyone has done. Like
I'm in a relationship. I'm happy. My kids.
Yeah.
So now what? Now.
I mean, what we got to figure out what's what now. And I want to honestly just take a second and process everything we just talked about because it's, and I'm sure you do too.
Right. I mean, am I in trouble? Am I going to be arrested? Am I?
I mean, I can't definitively say that. I honestly don't know. Like, you know, it's so long ago and there's so many variables. I'm more mainly concerned with, like, I don't care if people get arrested or not. As like just me as a cop, I never care about that. That's why I love investigations because
Right.
all I want to do is just figure out what happened.
Right.
Like if you didn't kill this kid, great. If you did,
Yes.
don't do that.
No.
You know. I mean, we got to figure it out. Give me a minute to process everything we just said here, because it is a lot. I honestly don't know, Keri. You know, what do you think should happen out of this?
Personally, if it was years ago, I think I should be in trouble. It's 27 years later. I've got my life back in order. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I did it.
Did what?
I killed a child. I killed a baby.
Yeah,
I mean,
would you say you murdered it?
I would have to say that's what I did.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. So give me a minute here. Are you good with the water? You need anything else? Something to eat or? Okay.
No.
Give Bob and I here a moment. So Bob and I were just talking about everything. We just had some follow-up stuff that we wanted to flush out with you. So you said you didn't show at all?
I mean...
Like, it's summer, you know?
But even with my other two, I didn't really... I mean, I did a little, but not... I don't... Like, nobody noticed. Nobody asked me if I was pregnant. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody...
Because, I mean, we're working off timelines, like... Did you realize you're pregnant before or after you moved to Albany?
After.
After?
I think, like I said, I was young, I was stupid, I didn't... You know what I mean? Like...
Because
I don't think that maybe I was in denial.
Yeah,
you know, I don't, like, my mom never asked me. I don't.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Just hear me out here for a second, right? Because based on the timeline, the earliest you could have moved here was June, right?
I was sitting here trying to remember when I moved here.
Yeah.
I don't know when I started my job, like in...
Gotcha.
May? I mean, I don't... I really, truly do not know 27 years ago when I moved to Albany.
So, by all accounts, even if you came here in May, if the baby's born in September, that means you were what? At least 4 months pregnant when you moved here?
Most likely, yes.
Right. So, and you... I mean, here's the thing with periods. You get them usually you get them every month.
I didn't. I've had issues since I got it at 12.
Okay. Because here's where my head's at, right? And this is a logical question. And if it's the truth, it's the truth. It really doesn't matter, right? Like, we could sit here and you could tell me, yes, I killed that baby. I don't care. If you told me, if it was someone saying they sexually assaulted a child, that would probably upset me more, right? This isn't that, okay? But I'm also applying common sense to what you're saying, right? And once again, I don't give a shit what happened. I really don't care. But my job is to hammer down what the truth is. His too.
I mean, was I shocked? I don't, like I said...
Well, you might not have showed, right? That could very well be, all right? But my point of this is, you don't get your period for 4 months.
I should have questioned it at that time. But like I said, I got my period when I was 12, and I've never been...
Actually, this kind of makes sense. So, growing up, what was the family life like?
It was great.
Great?
Yep.
All American? Because I know a small town, 100%.
My dad was a corrections officer. My mom worked in the school. You know, it was great.
Religious?
No, not very.
Okay. What about, like, what would your parents have said if they found out you got pregnant at that time?
They would have supported me. They would have done anything they could have to help me.
Okay. And the guy that got you pregnant, what was his name again? Situation at the time. Were you guys dating, or?
Yes, sort of. Like, we weren't, like, there was no one else. You know what I mean? I mean, we were in a small town. We were dating. I guess you could call it dating. Like, we weren't together all the time.
Did you guys ever talk about, like, getting married or anything? No, just casual, fun thing.
Yeah.
Because where I sit with this is well after you don't get your period, at the earliest 4 months, at the latest 6 months into being pregnant, when you would ideally start showing, you leave Roxbury and come to Albany. Right?
That was in the works prior.
Okay.
Like, I had been looking, I had applied in Cooperstown, I had applied at jobs all over the place.
Right.
Because, I mean, Roxbury, it was not for me. There's, I don't know, you know, and that's why I'm looking at you. I mean, it's small town, I was like, I had to get out. So it wasn't a...
Trust me, if I still lived in Ashland, I'd be doing site work, you know, driving a dump truck.
It wasn't because I was pregnant that I was getting out. I was getting out because I didn't want to be there anymore. Like, I had been looking, like I said, I applied in Cooperstown, I applied all over the place for jobs.
Yeah.
And I was coming up here for different interviews, and I happened to get the job up here.
So you had this job here when you came here?
Yes, I
prior to.
had, right.
That was the whole move, was to come here.
Correct, right. Like I said, I had applied at like Bassett Hospital and different, I was just trying to get out of Roxbury.
I got you.
I didn't want to be small town anymore.
So, how long before this thing happens do you start researching, like, because you said you looked up on the internet what to do with the umbilical?
Once I realized I was pregnant.
And how long do you think that was before?
Probably like a month.
A month? Okay. So, you know, I know you said you freaked out, right? But we gotta, I hate to do this to you and I'm sorry, but we gotta go back in time. We gotta do it again, all right? We have to go back to the sights, the sounds, the smells, the feel of what happened in that apartment on Western Avenue in 1997. You start getting the cramps, you get the scissors, you go in the bathroom. Describe to me what you're thinking, what you're hearing, what you're smelling, what you're seeing. If you gotta close your eyes to do it, because that helps some people too. And I'm sorry, it's a long time ago, but let's close this book. Okay? So take a second, but let's go back there.
I mean, I was home, I felt the cramping, and I just, at that point, I knew I was in labor.
Yeah.
So I had, read that if you put warm water in the bathtub, it helps with the cramping. Honestly, I was panicked, didn't really know what to do. Got in the bathtub and just, kept like massaging my stomach, and then I eventually, it was probably like an hour and a half, gave birth.
What were you thinking about at the time? Were you thinking about, like, fuck, my life's about to change?
Yeah, I was thinking about, what do I do? What how nobody knows. I'm by myself. What do I do?
Right.
I think at that point I really didn't know. I think, and then, I gave birth and the baby's in front of me and it was, oh shit. And, I put the baby on the floor because I didn't know what to do. Like, I was afraid I was going to die. Because
Really?
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Or how to handle, and then I cut the umbilical cord, praying that it was where it needed to be cut. Stayed in the bathtub, and then I remember like getting out and feeling like I was gonna pass out.
I mean, that's gotta be, fuck me, that's a lot, right?
Yeah. And then
you're sitting in that bathtub, the warm water, you just given birth. You're sitting there trying to figure out what to do. You got this new
blood everywhere.
There was blood. You got this newborn crying next to you, moving around, and you're all by yourself.
And I think I just, stupid, young, didn't know what the hell, and I just.
Did you? Well, actually, that kind of makes sense. Were you worried the neighbors would hear it? Let's go back to that time.
Yeah, but I do not recall the baby crying.
Okay.
But I do remember, like, just.
If you did, you did.
Yeah,
like
I said, I don't remember any crying, but I do remember, and I don't know.
But you do remember it breathing, correct? Mm-hmm.
And I do remember.
Okay. Did you think about, like, before you did it, how, like, if you kept the baby, how it would change your life?
I knew I wasn't going to keep it, but after I did it, then my mind, there was like, on the corner, there was like a child, St. Catherine's or some center there, and, as soon as I did it, it was like, oh my God, I should have,
Oh, after you.
Right. It's, I don't know, it's like, you do it, and then it's like, oh shit, I should have.
So you felt regret right after you did it?
Absolutely.
But at that time when you did it, like, I mean, you said yourself, no one knew?
No,
like,
nobody. No, I didn't tell anybody. Not one person knew.
And that'd be like a shock to your parents, right? Like, hey, mom, dad, I just had a baby.
Yeah.
You know?
They would have been supportive.
Right.
I mean, that's our relationship. I just.
I mean, I got to ask you, would it have brought shame, perhaps?
Maybe a little bit, but.
Or is it just like, I mean,
more to me, probably. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you're 25 years old, you're just starting your life. Are you thinking about that? Like, shit, my life's going to be totally different if I have this kid.
I don't, honestly, I think I was in denial the whole time. I think I was just in, young, stupid denial. I mean, you're 97 and you're starting your life, and
yeah. And then, so after you press on the baby, you feel it stop breathing. The bag, was it paper or plastic?
I think it was plastic.
Because there's no plastic burned on that baby.
I think I took it out.
You took it out?
Yeah.
So walk me through that. How do you get it from the apartment to your car?
I had the plastic bag. I put it in the bag, in the towel, and put it in my car. Carried it out like it was groceries.
You carried it out like it was groceries?
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like you thought, taking it out like it's trash,
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go out to the car with it like it's groceries.
Take it to the park.
You see St. Catherine's right around the corner?
I didn't go that way.
Okay. You saw that after? Like how long after?
When I was coming home.
When you were coming home? And you said, shit, I should just... And you're within eyesight of a police station there, aren't you?
I think it was around, down the corner.
Yeah, right up the street. So then you drive, and did you have in your mind, I'm going to go to Washington Park, or were you just...
I think I was just driving. I was just driving. I didn't know what I was doing.
And where was the bag of groceries that you brought out at that time?
In the back seat.
In the back seat?
Yeah.
Behind you, or behind the other side?
Behind me.
Okay. And then you're just driving around, you got to Washington Park, and did you...
I don't even know where the matches came from. I think I had them in my car.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't grab them and take them with me. They were in my
Yeah, at what point did you decide that's the burning was what you were going to do?
I started to walk away, and then I was afraid that there might be evidence on the towel. So it wasn't the baby, it was...
You were trying to get rid of the towel.
The towel. Or whatever, blanket, towel, whatever.
Why not just take the towel?
Stupid, young, not thinking, not...
Because him and I have talked about this a lot. I've really tried to get in your headspace from that time. Because I pride myself on being a pretty decent person.
I just don't think at that point, and I was physically ill too. I kept passing out. Yeah. Because I had no medical attention. I had just had a baby, and I think I just...
But I mean, you at the time, you're alert, you know what's going on, correct? So you set the towel on fire to... Get
rid of the evidence. I wiped again, with the towel, I had wiped the baby off again, and then I think I was afraid my fingerprints or whatever would be on the towel.
Okay.
So I wasn't setting the baby on fire, I was setting the towel on fire, not at that time thinking that
Why not just take the towel off and set it on fire? Or take it with you?
That.
Yeah.
Not.
Because those matches,
not in the right headset, not in the right frame of mind, not.
Fair enough. Because we have those matches. They look like the bigger matches you'd keep in your kitchen, not like the book of matches you'd get at the store, right?
Yeah, but we always would do bonfires and stuff too.
Okay.
So
So when
I might not even have a box of those in my car now. Not just
old school. Small town old school. Gotcha.
So when you were saying that you were not feeling well, passing out, you were able to make it to and from your car without help?
No, there was nobody.
Nobody
knew. Nobody, to this day, I'm the only person.
When you were in the park, did you see anybody around?
There were people.
But nobody noticed or didn't really know what was going on?
No.
And that was at nighttime?
Later evening.
Later evening? Before midnight, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how far from your car did you go with the baby? Like, did you park right on the road and just jump right out?